Steven, I think they're ready for us after this weekend that we had. How you feeling?
Good. I'm good. Ready to go. Told you my chair broke, so I'm gonna be bobbing and weaving all
Hey,
episode.
no worries. So I was talking to the homies earlier today, and they were like, "All right, Hayes, why are you going to wear this outfit today?" Well, if I'm getting ready for Cancun, because the Eagles aren't going to be here, then I got to just be chilling in that outfit I currently have on. Some other things that I definitely want to go over with everybody are one, both of our teams are at home, so we're both chilling in our summer vacation outfits for the time being. Second thing
I'm gonna
is
go tuck the little man in. I'll be back in a minute.
you're good. So second thing is we just need to end up diving into everything that really has gone on since I'll use this time actually because I have a funny for everybody that's out there, and I want to save that for when Steven's here. The first thing I do want to cover and just talk about is remember every Monday we do a spaces. So cryptocurrency is like the main thing so that we end up talking about in that spaces. The other thing is I normally cover football during the regular season. It's fantasy football during the playoffs. We go more in depth. It's kind of like my version of the nightcap, if anybody knows how that is. So I'll just talk different things about the games that have been going on. And then after that, I'll end up just like sharing like random shit, funny stories that have been happening in life. Just continuing to go forward with everything. I do want to bring up some of the crypto stuff. So I don't have it on me actually right now, but Saga Mobile. So that was the V1 version of the Solana phone. They announced today that they're coming out with their Saga Mobile 2. Well, Saga version 2. Most people are speculating it's another phone. They're trying to meet a quota of 100,000. You have to put a deposit on to 450. I did that. Yes, I know. I'm kind of at that point of like, F it. If we end up getting enough to end up meeting that quota, so be it. If not, I'll just get a refund for it. Who knows? Only kicker is I had to put a deposit of $450 down for something that doesn't even happen until 2025. So I have to hope that whatever they're building and whatever the relationships and things that they have are are good enough for me to just have this $450 locked away until next year. We'll see what Solana Mobile and the Saga company ends up coming out with, but that's the one thing over there. Another thing I want to just bring up is Jupiter does have their airdrop that's called Jupiary that's going to be coming out on January 31st. Make sure to pay attention to that. Something else, this has been airdrop farming season, and just continue to just focus on the airdrops. This is really that time of the year it's been. There's a lot of different airdrops that I think people should take part in. I've done some on Solana, I've done some on Say, I've done some on Sui. Bitcoin has some that I have not dove into yet. And then there's a airdrop farming company called Noder that people are working with, and it's $69 a month right now. They're going to raise the price after beta, and it's going to be $99. Essentially, they're going to be in charge of doing some of these airdrop farms, and you'll end up being able to get, they don't like to call it revenue streaming, but you get a portion of what they'll have. They're going to be farming different chains like Tyco and then Barachain. I've started to airdrop farm on Barachain. It's solid. It's not too bad to use. They have testnet, so you get like faucet tokens to end up using on their different testnet beta sites that they have. Something else is Venom. Make sure to do all your Venom airdrops because that'll play an important factor going forward. And these are all just simple things. The market is in a lull right now. So if you could do all the airdrop farm and then as we continue forward, you'll just get a random blessing of money. Who knows? But that's something. Finally, my last three things I want to bring up and make this quick so we can go into sports. And the funny is one, if you don't know anything about Pudgy Penguins or Little Pudgies, I suggest that you start diving into it. Pudgy Penguins is currently sitting at 15 Solana. I mean, 15 Ethereum. If you really want to know what 15 Ethereum is, it's essentially like $30,000 to $33,000.
Jeez.
Yes, that's not for the average individual. If you don't have $30,000 just laying around for an NFT, you can end up going with a little pudgy. So I do have one little pudgy right now. So the difference in the collection are probably like, all right, what is the difference? If you look at the size of the NFT, that's the big thing. The other part is the pudgy penguins are around an 8 to 9K collection, whereas the little pudgies are a 21K collection. So that's kind of the first thing in the price. The other one is Overworlds Incarna. So Overworlds Incarnate currently is sitting at over 2 ETH, which will run you around like $4,000 to $5,000. And with that, you will be able to receive an airdrop for one, their token that they're going to come out with, which is the MNCT. and then they're going to have one with Exterio. And then apparently they've also rumored that there's 3 different potential whitelist spots that Overworld Incarnates will be able to get throughout this year. Then on top of all of that, you will be able to receive pre-sale in terms of purchasing more of the Overworld token itself, and you'll have a 1 Ethereum allocation. So you could spend up to $2,200 on top of the airdrop they'll end up giving you. I don't think it's a bad deal, so that's why I took part in it. And just holding it already, I've made like $500 off of Overworld because NFT is going to start going up. Same with like Lil Pudgy, so I've been able to do the same thing. That's kind of the main thing over there. And just I want to give you guys an overview and a recap of what's going on with the ETF within the stock market. A lot of people thought it'd be a hype event and the price would end up soaring up because, oh, look what happened to gold. But it was more so a sell the news. So a lot of times we know that the government and everyone gets in advance, and then we end up just thinking that it's going to be hype, then it was a sell off. So the price is around 45, 46,000. When the ETF happened, it ran up to 47, 48K. And then it dropped to 43 and 42, and now it has settled at $43,000. I do see a little bit of a bounce and it will go up, but overall we will start to pull back. But remember the big event that will be happening in April, the halving, which cuts the price, which cuts the amount of supply that miners will get when they end up figuring out these different formulas and transactions that are on the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin blockchain itself. So each year it always halves, and then this year they're saying it's like one of the other big ones. Then after that, it's when we see the run up. A lot of people have been speculating on price. I don't really care about that because I've seen so many people speculate over the past 2 cycles and they've been wrong. So it's kind of one of those figure out your own price targets and we'll go from there. But that's the main things that I wanted to bring up in terms of the cryptocurrency and finance world. Now I can finally say the funny and then we will get into the hot take. So this is what I've been waiting for because I've watched this video 3 times now. It's the
All right,
funniest
let me
thing in
ask
the
you,
world.
what are the odds I've seen this video?
I've been debating back and forth
Like
so
on
much
a
if
scale,
you've seen it.
scale of 1 to 10.
A 6.
Ooh, okay. Twitter,
Yeah.
right? Obviously.
Yeah. It's on
Okay.
Twitter.
Yep.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the video. Have you seen this?
Yo, I have. Yo. Yo. Dog. What, like, what? How, what is this? I don't understand. I watched it. I watched it 3 or 4 times.
Steven, I saw this. So I saw it, and you're looking. And the whole time I'm looking at this video, I'm like, all right, you know what? There has to be water or something that's going to happen. Like, they're just free falling. Like, the
Yo,
bird is free falling. First off, the bird can't even fly if you look
nah,
at what it's
I
trying to
mean,
do.
it looks fake,
It does.
you know? Like
And
where in the world? I didn't do oh my God. Oh,
okay, when this happened, I was like, no, it's dead. Like, it's got to be dead.
bro,
And I'm just
animals
seeing it.
are that's unbelievable. I need to know where in the world this happened because like that's hundreds of feet, it seems like, dude.
Yes.
Hundreds of
And
feet.
it
And then
fell.
just get and then just keep going.
But then the other thing is, when it fell, it didn't splat. And it's just chilling. And then it's like, all right,
I
we're
gotta walk
good.
this off, man.
We get
Incredibly, it survived. Just
and then
that doesn't even make sense, dude.
it just goes on. So
It just
essentially
goes.
what it did is it just jumped. I don't know who taught it. You know what? You're just gonna have to make that leap
It's a
one day.
bird, dude.
It's a bird. And if you saw a human, you'd be like, nah, it's done. Like, there's no way it's coming back. You're just done. Don't even think twice about it. We lost Jimmy today. But
Animals are
no,
different, man.
they are.
Animals are
So
different.
that's the big thing I wanted to talk about over there. I did have a main story that I wanted to cover, but then I ended up seeing this whole Jim Harbaugh thing. Have you read the contract that was offered from University of Michigan?
With the like he can't be terminated for whatever reason,
Yes.
right? Yeah. I look, dude, I've said this for a very long time now, and I still believe it based on everything that I've read. Like they are not gonna survive this for sure. Like I give it 2 or 3 months, and it's gonna happen before the draft. give it 2 or 3 months, and Michigan's going to be hammered with something. Guarantee it. And then Harbaugh jumps to the league. But I really, in terms of that, though, I really like outside of that happening, I don't see him leaving Michigan. Like he is Michigan football.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's everything that a university is. And he's like, I was trying to think of other college coaches who were like that with their like Nick Saban was different. Like Joe Paterno was at Penn State for 60 years, but he can go to Penn State. Like Jim Harbaugh played quarterback. It's not like he was like, backup DB or something. He was the quarterback of Michigan. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is a Michigan man through and through. Outside of something happening where like he has to be fired or whatever, I don't think he leaves. I know
No.
he interviewed with the Chargers, whatever that means. I appreciate the Chargers putting out that info, right? That was
Yeah,
nice.
they did.
But I just don't see him leaving. Do you? Like,
It
I know your college football like fandom is coming along, but you know enough about Michigan and football and like who he is and what that university is, all that stuff. So like, I can't see him leaving, but can you?
I feel he's been there so long that you almost forget that he was in the NFL because you only really know him
Yeah,
at Michigan. Yeah, he was on the 49ers and they went to the Super Bowl and stuff, but it doesn't even feel like it. You remember him from Michigan and what
yeah,
he's done. Like you remember in the beginning when they were like, yo, Coach Harbaugh is just like chilling at homie's house. Like that was
yeah.
in the beginning when he would just be chilling there and just doing whatever to get his program to this point. You
He
put
did,
in
dude,
so
and
much time to
he's
do that.
dominating.
Yeah. And the way he did it is really different than Nick Saban, too. Granted, yes, they both have like championships, but the way Coach Harbaugh did it, my man was bootstrap right there in people's seats. Nick Saban was like, do you know who I am? All
It
right,
was
let's
also
go.
like very old school, like run the
Yeah.
ball, like really good defense, but like run the ball and like will have like good enough passer. Like I don't think JJ McCarthy is gonna be a good NFL quarterback. Like
No.
there's no way, dude. Like I have and like people are gonna say that because of like a ton of different reasons. And I think we all know the reasons, but like I just I don't see it. I just don't see him going. There's no way he should go first round. Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
Um, like I don't know. I just don't see. He just benefited from a awesome run game with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. He had really good receivers. He had the best offensive line for the last 2 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and they had like a top 5 defense both years. And
Mm-hmm.
some say the best defense. So like yeah, like that. I don't want to say it's easy to be the quarterback, but like at that
Yeah,
point, look at Stetson Bennett put up Heisman numbers. What is he doing now? Nothing.
exactly.
So
So
I don't think he gets drafted, or he
my
will, but he should probably higher than he should.
my big thing is I really view Michigan football as a couple years ago, University of North Carolina
Ooh,
basketball.
can I say something really quick?
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought of this. This Michigan team was like a better, like a more dynamic. Do you remember Chad Henne when he
Yeah.
played in Michigan and Mike Hart?
Mm-hmm.
JJ McCarthy and Blake Corum are like a more dynamic Chad Henne and Mike Hart.
Yeah.
Blake
I
Corum's more
don't
athletic, Mike Hart, and obviously Chad Henne was mobile, but McCarthy's better. So I just thought of that, and I want to get that out there before I forget it. I'm gonna tweet that out later, see how many people respond to that.
yeah. I don't so Blake Corum is another one. Blake Corum reminds me in a way of like how Tim Tebow dominated in college, but how is that going to translate over into the NFL? And I say that because in the NFL, if you look at those running backs, like if you even, I don't know why I always forget his name. Who was the small running back that played for the Bears that was like really quick? He went to an HBCU. I should know this. This is like really bad, but he essentially had to like stop
That's
playing.
funny.
But yeah, that's kind of what I think about when it comes to Michigan. They have solid play. Their defense is good, but the only person you really think of from their defense that did anything was Jabril Peppers and Tariq Cohen. Jabril Peppers
Oh
and Aiden
yeah,
Hutchinson are the two
yeah.
that you end up thinking. I don't really know too many Michigan players that are standouts.
They're really deep. Ooh, my man. Hand down, man
So,
down.
so we
you
going
know,
together today.
jeez.
So that's kind of the big thing over there that I wanted to bring up. The next thing is I want to talk about the upsets and stuff that did happen in the NFL, upset-ish, but then also what are your thoughts on which game was the most impactful in terms of who lost?
Probably
So,
the Cowboys
okay.
and obviously the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think
Mhm.
like, do you mean like impact on the playoffs or like impact like overall for that team?
Impact overall for the team.
Yeah, I definitely think the Cowboys and the Eagles because the Eagles like started to fade right like towards the end, like maybe like you saw this coming, but thought they could probably beat the Bucks, right?
Hmm.
Not having AJ Brown, I don't know. The Bucks defense was pretty solid all night, so I'm not sure if that would have made a difference. You good over there, bro?
We get over here. We are golden now. This is the day.
My man has not stopped for 2 minutes.
Nope.
But Cowboys, I mean, to get embarrassed like that at home,
At
man, that's
home. And the
tough,
way it
dude.
started,
That's
like,
tough. So, all right, I texted you earlier. I'll try to make this quick, but I really want to say this before we get into everything else. So every like generation, like my dad, my uncles, same with you, like they all have like their teams that they grew up with. Like my dad
mhm,
had the Steelers in the 70s and then the Niners in the 80s, so on and so forth, right? Every like era has like that team, that dynasty, whatever. I mean, like we saw the Pats in the beginning, but like we were both too young to really like get it at the time. Like we've seen
yeah.
LeBron start to finish, like we understand, like we're in that. But like the Chiefs, like as a sports fan, like putting aside like players I like and teams I like, whatever. Like college football the same way. Like I always want to see Alabama win a national title just to like say I saw it. You know, like as
Hmm.
a sports fan, like I really want to see the Chiefs win because I want to look back and be like, yeah, I saw Mahomes have a stranglehold in the league for 10 plus years, you know? Like we thought
Hmm.
maybe what the Seahawks were gonna do. Like, but the Pats obviously kept going. But um I really want the Chiefs to win because of that, but I really want the Bills to win because I'm like really want to see Josh Allen get one. I don't know why. I don't know why I
Hmm.
like him so much. Like I like Mahomes. I got the just as much probably, but I don't know. Something about Josh Allen just like he just seems like a regular dude, you know? I don't know
Yes.
why. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like Mahomes, I don't know why, right? Why is that? Like
Hmm.
Mahomes seems like a regular dude. I mean, he's the face
Yeah.
of the league, and you know, his teammates Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and all whatever. I don't really care, but like I don't know. Josh Allen just seems like a dude,
Yeah.
right?
So there's nothing. And that's why I've always liked the Bills and Josh Allen. You can't hate him because what does he do? Even when he talks in like press conferences and interviews, he doesn't ever say like cocky stuff. He's the opposite of almost older version of Baker Mayfield. Like y'all remember when
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield first came out like talking his shit and stuff.
First of all, Baker Mayfield is what we wanted Johnny Manziel to be.
Yeah,
I saw
exactly.
someone tweet that today. I was like, that is one of the most accurate tweets I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
That's spot on, dude. He's exactly what we wanted Johnny Manziel to be.
that's it. And
Sure.
Baker Mayfield just ran his course. He said, all right, you know what? They kicked me out of Cleveland. Cool.
Dog,
I was on
dude.
the Panthers. Cool. Went to the Rams. All right, bet. You know what? I got my new chance in the Bucks. And I really think he can be there for a second. Now, the only way that this continues to be a thing is if they re-sign Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. If
Yeah.
those two walk, it's going to be really different.
Yeah.
So my other question that I had for you, because this impacts one of your teams, the Steelers and the Dolphins, do you think they stay with the quarterbacks they have, or do you feel one of them gets a new quarterback?
Well, the Dolphins are definitely going to keep Tua.
Yeah,
Um,
there's not that many good quarterbacks.
no, there's not, and the Steelers don't have one. I would definitely say that they're not going to draft the quarterback. If anything, they would find someone in free agency. Um, but I mean, if you just put some talent around him, I think like Najee Harris is coming up on contracts. Jalen Warren is dope. Like they can maybe try and keep those guys, but I think at some point you got to pick one.
Hmm.
I think I prefer Najee over Jalen Warren, but barely. Fryermuth, good tight ends. You'll keep him for a hot second. Jalen, like I mean not Jalen. George Pickens is a dog, dude.
He is
He definitely has the potential to be like a top three receiver in the league with his talent. But
with the right
um
quarterback.
with the right quarter,
Yes.
yeah. We're like he's wasting away. Now, I would definitely see the Steelers try and make a play for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
If they can do that money wise, financially, I don't see why not. If they signed him, if you told me that next year the starting quarterback for the Steelers was going to be Russell Wilson, sure, sign me up, dude. Gladly take that. With his talent in an organization like that, keep Tomlin for another couple of years. Yeah, and TJ Watt stays healthy and they get some other pieces on defense. Yeah, the Steelers are right back in it for the Super Bowl easily.
The Steelers made the playoffs this year, and they didn't even have a solid quarterback. Mason Rudolph was not their starter.
No, we had Mitch Trubisky starting for a lot of games, and then Pickett, who it's a wasted pick, and then Mason Rudolph, who didn't even play last year. He was going into real estate eventually, and now he gave us a chance to win, dude.
He did, yes.
So I think it'll be a competition, but I would bring in someone else. Obviously, please don't draft anybody. And it sucks. I say this every year. The Steelers are always good enough, or just bad enough, I guess, when they make the playoffs, lose first round, and we got a shitty draft pick, and we're not going to trade up.
So my question for you, and we've seen this before with other teams, when a team is constantly hitting the same benchmark, like Steelers are making the playoffs, they're always finishing above 500. When does a fan base end up saying this isn't good enough anymore? Like, how with Ohio State and Alabama, when they keep getting like right there, but they don't make it to the championship game, and like, this isn't good enough anymore. When do you think that is for the Steelers?
Well, being a Penn State fan, I think it goes hand in hand. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love Mike Tomlin. I've literally never had an issue with him before. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league still. As you can see, he gets his team ready for it no matter what. Got a Super Bowl, got another appearance. I don't know. Same thing with James Franklin. He's got a Big Ten championship. Never made the playoffs, but we're always right there, type of thing. I think it's just the quarterback. If he gets a quarterback, I think it's fine. That's it. That is for any team in the league. If you can get a good quarterback, that saves everything else, dude. Everything else. And all these teams you don't have backup quarterbacks, you saw it with New England. Yes, the coach does something, but he's not the one on the field, dude. He's not the one slinging the rock around. Tom Brady was an assassin. He was nice with it. It's pretty simple. You give a coach a good quarterback, he can handle that. So I think if the Steelers do bring in someone, or they go with Mason Rudolph, which I'd be okay with, or they get Russell Wilson, Tomlin's good, dude. He can last another 4 or 5 seasons.
Exactly.
He's one of those guys, much like Belichick. He'll stop whenever he wants to. He's got a lifetime contract with the Steelers. They're not gonna fire
at this point. Yeah.
If you haven't been fired yet, come on. And they've had some pretty the standard is AFC title game, but they wasted having Ben kind of in his prime numbers wise, Le'Veon and AB. They had a good defense. They had a dope receiving core. They brought Bryant for a hot second, and they didn't do shit with it. We had one AFC title game appearance, and that was it. So Pittsburgh fans are going to say it every year, but I think they're okay with Mike Tomlin.
So because I was looking up stats as to what this comparison really reminds me of. This team, if they have the right quarterback, is really similar to the Denver Broncos when they won the Super Bowl year. All they need is that quarterback in terms of they have 2 solid receivers. You got Johnson, then you have Pickens. They remind me a lot of Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace, and then also Emmanuel Sanders. And then you have Freiermuth, who is essentially the other Thomas that was there at tight end. They have the pieces that are there. Then you have a solid defense. It's really just that quarterback. And then your running back position, it's very similar to when it was CJ Anderson and Ronnie Hillman at it. It's set up the same. All you really need is that one quarterback as to are they going to make the difference in the game.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. So kind of we beat that a lot. So I want to go into the games that are this week. And I'm going to go out of order because there's one in terms of the financial brain of mine that I need to bring up. And that's the Sunday game at 3 p.m. I don't really care about the game as much, but there are 4 games. And here are the ticket prices. The first game, the lowest price is $121. The second game, the lowest price is $221. The fourth game, the lowest ticket price is $172. And the third game, the lowest goddamn price is $519. There is no way the Lions need to be doing this to their fans. The ticket prices for one ticket, how do I know this? Because I end up purchasing the tickets and flipping them. But the ticket price for the area I tried to get, it costs you $600. Why do they cost $600 for the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan for y'all to do? You're taking advantage of your team and the fans because we've never gone here before. We don't know if we're going to do it again. So let's upcharge the hell out of all of this. Why is these ticket prices, and it's a dome, why are these ticket prices more expensive than the Chiefs and Bills? There's no reason.
You think that has a reason to do with it because there's a dome and it's the middle
Easily.
of, January?
1000%. Because I know damn well when they were talking about the Dolphins and the Chiefs game with the ticket price being like $20, $30, I'm not going to the game in negative 30-degree wind chill weather.
Okay,
Never.
I got one for you financially. Do you think this, if you work backwards, where they had those down years and ticket revenue wasn't what they wanted, and eventually they knew they had to kind of make waves and try and get back to an even figure? Do you think that has anything to do with it? Trying to gain some ground financially?
That's what they're doing. So next year you'll see this, and a lot of teams are going to be really surprised. The fans are. A lot of teams have increased their season ticket costs between 8 to 12%. There's no way you need to do that. And one of the teams, Jacksonville Jaguars, who are going to be my talk later today, increased theirs damn near 10 to 15%. The Lions did it too. So they're trying to recoup all that revenue, saying we kept it the same for so long. Now we're increasing it. Why spike it up that much? You're doing it because you got to pay these damn quarterbacks. So you're here, y'all are going to foot the bill. But going into the first game, Texans and Ravens, who do you have?
And I'm going to go with the Texans.
Dang it. That's what I was going to do.
I'm going to go with the Texans. I think that 3-week layoff that's
a long time.
3 weeks, dude. When you've been balling like that, I don't it's not going to be it's, one season to the next. He'll be fine, right? I'm not saying he's going to be terrible, but also it is Lamar Jackson. I don't trust him in the playoffs. D'Amico Ryans is, one of the hottest names in the league. CJ Stroud, no fear. No. They have a great defense, and I think they're going to give Baltimore problems. And I think CJ Stroud, I think he balls out, and I think this is a huge game for Lamar Jackson. Huge
Absolutely.
game. He has to be he's got to be the reason why they win.
Yeah,
I've been saying that for a while now. He's got to be the reason why Baltimore wins this game. And I don't think he is. I think he has a bad game. I think Houston gets after him, and I think they win. I think in the end, Houston pulls away, but it's a good game for a little bit. I think Houston pulls away in the end.
So I'm the same. I was going to pick the Texans for many different reasons. One, the Texans are riding hot. They beat the Browns. They went through that Browns defense. Yeah. So I'll say it at the end of all this, but there's a reason why I believe that the Ravens are going to lose this game. Next game we have is the Packers and the 49ers.
I'm going to go Niners, but not close game.
Yeah. You said a close game?
Yeah, close game.
Yeah. So I have the Niners as well. Again, I'll save this for after we choose all the picks, but the Niners are another one that has everything written their way. Next one, Bucks, Lions.
Lions. I love the Bucks, but Lions are just, the momentum is just there, even with the ticket prices.
Yes. So I have the Lions as well. My only thing is the Lions' pass defense is terrible. And if Baker Mayfield can do what he just did to the Eagles, horrific defense, then the Lions, the Bucks have a chance that way. That's the only way they have a chance. Other than that, I see that it's going to be the Lions in this one. And the final one, although everyone knows my pick, Chiefs, Bills.
Man, I really want to pick the Bills. I really do. But I gotta go Chiefs. I can't go against Mahomes.
I've come this far with the team, and I got to go down with the ship. I'm going with the Bills. The reason why I'm saying this is, and I know it's a week early that I'm saying it, I think it's going to be the Bills 49ers in the Super Bowl. This is the one of the only years the Bills are going to be able to do it. I'll save a lot of my predictions for the offseason. The Chiefs are going to get some sort of star wide receiver. I don't know where it's going to come from, but this is it reminds me of when the Grizzlies, that one year the Grizzlies had all the stars aligning because all the point guards were just injured that year. And it was if the Grizzlies don't do it this year, they're not going to do it. And they didn't do it. This reminds me of for the Bills. If you do not do it this year, Aaron Rodgers comes back next year. The Chiefs are definitely going to be different come next year. You don't know what the coaching situation is going to be across the league. The NFC is not going to be as bad as they are this year, next year. So everything is there for, the Bills can do it. So Bills 49ers, these are your chances.
And you have the Chiefs at home.
You have them at home.
You have them at
your
home.
Weather
and
it's the same as their weather too.
Yeah, you have them at home. It's a night game. I know the Steelers game wasn't like the best, but also just as much as this is a big game for Lamar Jackson, this is a huge game for Josh Allen. Like if he wants to be that dude, which I think he's probably like the second best quarterback in the league behind Patrick Mahomes. Like if he wants to be that guy, I think he's got to also win the Super Bowl. But like this is like that next step. Like if you want to keep going with the conversation, you have to win this game, and you got to put up a 300 yards, whatever, 4 touchdown type of thing.
Yeah. So I fully agree on that. What do you have for everyone?
Will you say something about the Jags?
Yeah. So I was going to talk about the Jags and the fact of, so I resold Jacksonville Jaguars tickets. Everyone knows that I do that stuff. And the Jaguars reached out to, I guess, like a bunch of us saying, hey, you're not allowed to end up having season tickets with us again next year because you resold tickets. I don't even want y'all's tickets next year because for starters, you guys have to be one of the dumbest franchises and everyone called you out. Y'all wanted to go before the season was over. Hey, do you want your playoff tickets? Y'all didn't even make the playoffs. So why do I want your tickets again? And why are you raising the cost of your tickets when y'all don't even have a great schedule next year? Maybe your best game that you have at home next year are the Jets. So I am not upset that my 5% that I made this year is gone for next year. So that's the only thing that I had because I really could care less. Might as well get some Texans tickets because y'all are going to lose to them. Y'all are second best again. Y'all had 1 year. You messed up. Then the regular season, you could have made the playoffs again. Couldn't even do that.
Lost to the Titans.
You lost to the Titans.
That's too
How?
bad.
So that's all I have because, Jaguars want to go reach out to me saying, hey, you can't come back with us next year. But we'll still tell you who our all pros are.
All right. Well, tough to do that. So I had some of the homies over last week or 2 weeks ago for the national title game. Last week, I think it was. And Mason came down, and like all the boys love Mason, right? And it was cool because like Mason, came down. Everyone said, "What's up?" Like he dapped everybody up. There was like 7 guys around. Mason just walking around, little 4-year-old just dapping everybody up. So shout out to Mason for being one of the homies.
Shout out.
And then yesterday I went down. I don't know if you saw. I tweeted this video. Me and Mia were downstairs. Well, 3 of us were downstairs. Me, and Mason came upstairs, and me and Mia did, my daughter, and we were upstairs for like a half hour, and I didn't hear anything, and I was like, "Where is Mason?" I was like, "I can only imagine what he's doing."
Coach.
My man is. I walked downstairs. He's in the basement. He's like laying on this little couch thing they got. He's just like chilling, watching the game, and like I watched him for like 3 or 4 minutes, and he's just like, he's locked in, like paying attention to the TV. He's like moving his head every like now, like when the ball's thrown or someone's run the ball. So shout out to the boy for being locked in to the TV. Yeah, locked so we're gonna be breaking down film. We're gonna have Mason on the podcast like next year. And
easily.
We're gonna be breaking down film. So
easily. So we'll be back with you all next week. Until then, we out.
Peace.